The battlefield was silent now. Hours ago it had been full of screams, fire, and falling ships, but all that remained were broken machines and drifting smoke. The sun was low, shining through the dust like a dying lamp. Marcus Hale, a human salvage officer, walked carefully through the ruins. His job was simple: collect data, record fallen soldiers, and mark anything dangerous. He expected nothing alive here. The ceasefire had been called only after both sides were nearly destroyed. As he stepped over a shattered alien vehicle, his suit's sensors gave a soft warning beep. Movement detected. Marcus frowned. Nothing should be moving. He lifted his scanner and followed the signal. The air was hot, the ground cracked, and the wind carried the smell of burnt metal. Then he heard something, a faint metallic clink, followed by a second one, like armor touching stone. Marcus tightened his grip on his sidearm. From behind a toppled wall, a figure slowly stepped into view. She was tall, much taller than any human. Her skin was a smooth, cold blue, marked with glowing cracks of faint light. Her armor was broken, pieces missing, wires hanging loose. But even damaged, it looked expensive, royal, powerful. Marcus's breath caught in his throat. He knew who she was. General Sareth Valkar, the most feared alien commander in the war. A legend, a monster, a strategist who had never once surrendered in her entire life. And now she was kneeling, right in front of him. Her heavy armor shifted as she lowered herself onto one knee. She placed one hand on the ground, the other across her chest, like a warrior offering respect or begging. Her voice came out soft, tired, but strangely calm. "Human, please take me." Marcus stared at her in shock. General Valkar? Kneeling? To a human? He checked the area quickly. No traps. No other soldiers. Only ruins and silence. This must be a trick, he whispered to himself. But when he looked closer, he saw it in her eyes. Pain, exhaustion, and something he never expected from an alien warrior. Fear. She was afraid. Marcus took one slow step forward. "Why are you surrendering?" he asked. Sareth lifted her head. Her golden eyes glowed faintly under the dust. "I am hunted," she said. "My own people want me dead. If they find me, they will erase me. You humans are the only place I can turn to." Marcus felt a chill run through him. Why would an alien general come to human for safety? Before he could ask more, his scanner started beeping rapidly. Red warnings flashed across his visor. Unidentified energy signatures approaching. Sareth turned her head slightly. She had sensed it too. She spoke again, lower now, as if someone was listening. "They are close. They will not let me leave this world alive." Marcus raised his weapon, looking around the ruins. Shadows moved along the broken rocks. Small glints of blue light flickered. Too smooth to be natural. Something was out there. Sareth slowly lifted both of her hands, showing she carried no weapon. "Human," she whispered, her voice almost breaking. "Please take me. If I fall into their hands, thousands will die. I cannot let them silence the truth." Marcus hesitated. He had no orders for this. He had no training for this. But when he looked at her again, kneeling, wounded, and waiting, he understood one thing. This was no trick. This was desperation. Before he could answer, the ridge above him shook. Small stones rolled down the slope. Something, or someone, was coming. Marcus swallowed hard. His next decision might shape the future of two worlds. And General Sareth Valkar waited, still kneeling, hoping he would say one word. "Yes." Marcus didn't know why he did it, but he reached out his hand toward the kneeling alien general. "Get up," he whispered. "We have to move." General Sareth Valkar lifted her head slowly, as if surprised he had agreed. She stood with effort. Her armor sparked faintly, lights flickering as if the suit itself was dying. Marcus guided her toward a small dropship hidden behind a ridge. Each step she took left a small, glowing mark on the ground. The moment they entered the dropship, Marcus locked the door and activated the shields. Outside, faint blue lights moved through the smoke. The hunters were too close. Inside the ship, Sareth sat heavily on the metal floor. Marcus kept his weapon ready, not yet trusting her, but not pointing it directly either. He tried to keep his voice steady. Tell me why your people want you dead. Sereth exhaled slowly, as if the truth weighed more than her armor. They call me a traitor, a coward, a shame to my people. Marcus blinked. You? A coward? You burned entire fleets. Her eyes glowed for a second. Yes, and for many cycles, I believed war was the only path. But 3 days ago, everything changed. She paused. The ship hummed quietly. Outside, the distant winds howled. Marcus leaned against a crate. Changed how? Sereth touched a crack plate on her armor. A small light pulsed under her fingers. There's a protocol in my army, a secret one. When defeat is certain, the general may activate a cleansing device. Marcus frowned. What does that mean? Planet destruction, she said simply. A single command. One activation. Millions dead. Marcus felt the blood drain from his face. You refuse to activate it. Yes, Sarah said, her voice firm. I saw your people retreating. I saw civilians running. I saw fear, not cruelty. I could not destroy a world full of life. She leaned her head back against the wall. My refusal broke every rule of my empire. They do not forgive mercy. Marcus stared at her, this towering warrior who once commanded ships larger than cities. And she had chosen not to kill. He sat down across from her, trying to understand. So they're hunting you because you didn't wipe out an entire planet? Yes, she whispered, and for something else. She lifted a small device from her armor, an oval-shaped crystal glowing with soft white light. What is that? Marcus asked. The memory core, she replied. It contains everything. Plans, orders, communications, including proof that my empire never wanted peace. They planned to break the ceasefire and destroy humanity completely. Marcus felt a sharp pain in his chest, not from fear, but from betrayal. Why tell me this? Because, Sarah said simply, I cannot carry it alone. If they capture me, they will destroy the core, kill me, and erase the truth. Marcus stared at the glowing crystal. And you came to humans? Your enemies? No, she corrected softly. I came to you. Marcus opened his mouth to respond, but his ship suddenly shook. The lights flickered. An alarm beeped loudly. Multiple signatures approaching. The ship's AI announced. Hostile intent detected. Sarah stood at once, her damaged armor humming in warning. They found us. Marcus moved the controls. How many? 4 ships, the AI answered. Fast. Elite class. Saratha's face hardened. They sent the executioners. They did not take prisoners. Outside, blue streaks of energy lit up the sky as the enemy ships approached the landing zone. Marcus turned to her. What do they want? The core? Or you? Both, she said. But mostly they want silence. The dropship shook again, this time harder. Dust fell from the ceiling. Marcus felt fear rising, but he forced himself to stay calm. What do we do? He asked. Saratha's golden eyes locked onto his. For now, we survive. And to survive, human, you must trust me. The ship rattled as something landed on the roof. And part 2 ends with Marcus gripping his weapon, the alien general stepping beside him, and both preparing for the fight neither expected to face. The roof of the dropship groaned as something heavy landed on it. Metal bent under the weight. Marcus felt his heartbeat speed up. He raised his weapon, but his hand shook slightly. General Sareth moved in front of him, shielding him with her large, damaged frame. Her armor glowed weakly, but her posture was strong, ready for battle. A sharp, drilling sound came from above. The executioners were cutting through the hull. Marcus whispered, My ship can't take a fight. We need a plan. Saratha's eyes narrowed. There's only one plan now. Fight and run. If we stay, we die. Before Marcus could reply, a circular section of the roof fell inward, crashing onto the floor. Dust and sparks filled the air. Through the hole, a dark figure dropped silently, landing with unnatural grace. It was tall like Sareth, but slimmer, with armor completely black and glowing blue lines that pulsed like veins. Its helmet had no eyes, only a smooth mask. Marcus froze. Sareth muttered. Executioner class, level 6. The executioner tilted its head, scanning the room. When it spoke, its voice was cold and emotionless. General Sareth Valkar, you are sentenced to termination. Sareth stepped forward. You dishonor our people by hunting truth. The executioner ignored her words. It raised an arm, and a blade of pure energy extended from its wrist. Marcus knew he couldn't fight something like this. He aimed his gun anyway. The executioner launched forward. Sareth blocked the first strike with her broken armor plate. The impact sent a shock wave through the dropship. Marcus stumbled, catching himself on the wall. Sareth counterattacked. Her fist, glowing with residual power, slammed into the executioner's chest. The metal cracked, but the enemy didn't fall. Its blade flashed again, this time slicing across Sareth's shoulder. Sparks exploded. She grunted in pain but didn't back away. Marcus fired at the executioner. His shots hit, but did nothing. The armor absorbed every impact. The executioner turned toward him. Marcus felt cold fear grip his throat. It raised its blade, but Sareth moved faster. She tackled the executioner into the wall. The ship shook from the force. She shouted over the noise. Human, we must leave now. Marcus didn't argue. He grabbed the emergency release lever on the side panel. The dropship's side door blew open, letting in harsh sunlight and swirling dust. Sareth punched the executioner again, knocking it back for a brief second. It wasn't much time, but enough. Jump, she ordered. Marcus leaped out of the ship and rolled across the rocky ground. His suit protected him, but the landing still hurt. Sareth followed right after him, landing heavily beside him. Behind them, the executioner climbed out a hole in the ship's roof. 2 more alien hunters appeared on the ridge above, their armor glowing in the smoke. Marcus looked around desperately. We're surrounded. Sareth grabbed his arm and pulled him toward the canyon. Not yet. Follow me. Lasers shot past them, burning lines into the rocks. Marcus sprinted behind her, dust kicking up under each step. His lungs burned, his legs ached, but he didn't dare stop. The canyon walls rose high around them, narrowing into a tight passage. Sareth pushed Marcus ahead. They cannot fly in here, she said. It slows them down. Slows them down? Marcus gasped. Not stops them. Sareth didn't answer. Behind them, metallic footsteps echoed loudly. The executioners entered the canyon. Sareth stopped suddenly. Marcus nearly crashed into her. She touched her chest armor, and a bright light flickered underneath. Marcus frowned. What are you doing? She looked at him with sharp, serious eyes. Something I hoped to avoid. Her armor plates shifted. Hidden power channels lit up. Marcus felt fear and hope mix inside him. Sareth whispered, Stay behind me. Then the canyon filled with blue light as she prepared something far beyond Marcus's understanding. Blue light pulsed from Sareth's armor, bright enough to make Marcus shield his eyes. The canyon walls glowed faintly, reflecting the energy. The executioners slowed their approach, scanning her rising power. Marcus whispered, What are you activating? Sareth kept her eyes forward, her voice steady. Not a weapon, a warning. Her armor released a deep, echoing hum. The air around her vibrated. The executioners stopped. Their masks tilted, as if confused by the signal. Sareth turned slightly toward Marcus. This energy signature belongs only to high command. It may force them to recalculate. Marcus looked behind them. The executioners were frozen, but only for a moment. Then one of them stepped forward again. It's not working, Marcus said. It worked enough, Sareth replied. We gained seconds. Now we run. She grabbed Marcus's arm, urging him deeper into the canyon. The passage narrowed, jagged rocks forming natural tunnels. Their footsteps echoed sharply. Behind them, the executioners resumed the chase. As they reached a wider cavern, Sareth stopped again. Her breathing was slower now, heavy, tired. Marcus turned to her. Are you hurt? She didn't answer. Instead, she knelt and placed a hand on her chest plate. The armor opened slightly. revealing the memory core, a glowing crystal pulsing with soft white light. Marcus stared at it. You already showed me that. Why open it here? Sareth met his eyes. Because you must understand fully before you choose what happens next. Marcus swallowed nervously. Choose? Choose what? Sareth held the memory core out to him. This contains proof that my empire planned the war. That piece was never real. Every order, every lie, every hidden attack, all stored here. Marcus reached toward it, then hesitated. Why not give it to my government? Sareth's expression hardened. Because your government already knows parts of it. And many of your leaders do not want the truth to spread. They prefer war. War brings power. Marcus felt sick. You're saying both sides want this hidden? Yes, she said. Both sides fear the truth. That is why I kneel. That is why they hunt me. She looked down at the glowing crystal in her hands. The core is locked. It can only be opened by the one I kneel to. Marcus felt the weight of her words. But why kneel to me? I'm just a salvage officer. For that reason, she whispered, you are not political. You are not corrupt. You saw me as a threat, but you did not shoot. You listened. Before Marcus could reply, a loud metallic thud echoed through the cavern. The executioners had entered. Sareth stood, wobbling slightly. Her armor flickered. She is dying, Marcus realized. One executioner spoke in a hollow voice. General Sareth Valkar, surrender the core. Your honor will be erased swiftly. Sareth raised her chin. I have no honor left to erase. Marcus stepped in front of her, without thinking. You'll have to go through me. The executioners paused, recalculating the unexpected resistance. Sareth whispered urgently, Marcus, listen carefully. If they take me, the core self-destructs. The explosion will destroy this entire canyon. You must choose now. Marcus looked at the glowing core, then at the deadly hunters closing in around them. What choice? He asked, voice shaking. Sareth slowly knelt, right there on the rocky canyon floor. Dust swirled around her. Choose to claim me, she said softly. Take ownership. With your command, the core will open and the truth will be revealed. But if you do this, both our governments will turn against you. Marcus's heart pounded. If he claimed her, he became a traitor. If he refused, billions could die in a future war. He stared at the kneeling alien general, once the most feared warrior in the galaxy, now offering everything she had left. Behind them, the executioners raised their weapons. Marcus made his choice. Marcus felt his heartbeat echo through the entire canyon. The executioner stepped closer, energy blades glowing bright blue. Sareth knelt before him, her armor cracked, her breathing weak, the memory core glowing softly in her hands. This was it. Marcus took a deep breath and placed his hand gently on her shoulder. I claim you, he said. The memory core reacted instantly. A bright white shockwave burst outward, spreading across the cavern walls like a rising sun. The executioners stumbled back, their scanners overloaded. Sareth lifted the core toward the light. The crystal opened, petals unfolding like a glowing flower. A massive projection filled the cavern. Holograms, recordings, maps, secret messages, all exposed at once. Marcus watched in horror as the truth showed itself. Alien commanders planning the war years before it started. Secret attacks designed to blame humans. Orders to exterminate human colonies after the ceasefire. Human generals accepting hidden deals to keep the fighting profitable. Lists of leaders on both sides willing to sacrifice billions for power. Marcus felt sick. Everything people had died for, everything he believed in, all of it was manipulated. Sareth bowed her head. This is why they want me dead. The executioners tried to push through the shockwave, but the core's energy held them back temporarily. Marcus turned to Sareth. What now? What do we do with this? Sareth looked at him with tired golden eyes. We show everyone. Once the truth is public, neither side can hide. They cannot kill the truth if the galaxy already knows. But how do we send it? Marcus asked. Sareth pointed at the sky. Your suit has long-range communication. Activate it. The core will use your signal to broadcast. Marcus nodded, hand shaking. He activated the transmitter on his wrist. The core pulsed once, twice, then exploded with a beam of light that shot straight upward, punching to the canyon roof, through the clouds, and into orbit. Every ship, every station, every government channel, they all received the truth. The executioners froze. Their orders suddenly conflicted. Their empire was in chaos. One of them stepped back. Protocol broken, chain of command unstable, recalculating. Sarah slowly stood, though she staggered. It has begun. My people will fight among themselves now. Your leaders, too. No one could deny what they have seen. Marcus grabbed her arm as she nearly collapsed. You're injured. Badly. I will survive, she whispered, if we escape. Above them, human dropships were approaching. Not rescue ships. Black Ops crafts, unmarked and fast. Marcus frowned. Those don't look friendly. They're here to silence us, Sarah said. The truth threatens their power. Marcus looked around. They were trapped between alien executioners and human Black Ops soldiers. Sarah turned to him. Marcus, run. I can hold them off. He shook his head. No, I'm not leaving you. She stared at him, surprised and touched. Together, they ran deeper into the canyon. Explosions echoed behind them as human and alien forces clashed. The entire world seemed to be erupting. When they reached a narrow exit, a human shuttle, small and old, hovered just above the ground. Marcus recognized it, his own emergency evac craft. He pulled Sarah toward it. We're leaving this planet, both of us. Where will we go? She asked softly. Anywhere they can't reach us, Marcus said. For now. They boarded the shuttle. Marcus fired the engines. The craft lifted into the sky, flames burning behind them as the planet fell into chaos below. Sarah leaned back, finally allowed herself to rest. You changed everything today, Marcus Hale. He smiled weakly. No, you did. I just listened. The shuttle shot into orbit, carrying a human and an alien, once enemies, now fugitives bound by the truth. And across the galaxy, billions of people stare at the leaked data, realizing their entire history had just been rewritten. The war was over, but the future had only just begun.